Hello guys, and in this video we are actually gonna rank each episode from the Malayalam anthology series Manorathangal, which is streaming on Z5. There are 9 episodes and we're gonna rank all of them, and my favorite, which is ranked number 1, I actually showed it to... I'm hearing myself? Oh, that's not good. Let's not do it again, but I'm gonna rank each and every episode, and the number 1 ranked episode, I actually loved it so much. I actually showed it to my family and they just watched it right now and they loved it. So something interesting. But let me know if you have seen it or not. Let me know how's the audio, how's the video. I know there was a kind of, you were hearing me again and again. That stopped right now. But again, if you enjoy this, do like the video so people can join us if you're watching the live stream. If you're watching the replay, definitely let me know your ranking and your thoughts about the series in the comments below. And again, if you haven't subscribed, for more such content you can subscribe to the channel. ARM tickets have been booked. Very excited for it tomorrow. And happy Onam, by the way, to everyone celebrating. But let's quickly get into it. As I said, I'll be ranking each there are 9 episodes total, so and if you don't know this series, like almost every, like, the Malayalam industry came together for this series. It's a series on the stories based on the book of MT Vasudevan Nair, and each episode, each series a separate story which is taken, and it's called Manorathangal, which means mindscape, and the meaning of that in English is all things that a person or a particular type of person or group of people thinks about and believes. So that's basically what it means, and you actually get his some stories are inspired from his original his own life, some things he has observed in life and all of that. So very different kind of stories, every no murder mystery crime. So you can actually, if you haven't seen it, it's actually a good watch. You can watch each episode a day, or with your family and friends, and it's like it's reminiscent of the olden days, I would say. But Mr. DB, ready, great. Happy Onam. No, not a robot. Thalavan soon. We'll do that on the React channel. Spoiler free. It is spoiler free. Let me go through the notes. I'm not gonna. Yeah, there are kind of spoilers. Like, if you want to go blank into watching the series, not knowing anything about each story, it's about experiencing it. So, but yeah, I would say if you want to go blank, you can avoid, and after watching you can come back and again watch this. Empty supremacy, Talavanona and Chenji combo waiting, it will happen. But yeah, it's stories from MT also the Nair, and it's a big thing, like almost the whole industry has come together. Not everyone, but we have Fahad Fazil, we have Mammootty, we had Mohanlal, we had Priyadarshan director Parvathy, like very big names came together. And if you're just joining, guys, we're gonna rank each episode from this anthology series, and do hit that like button so more people join us. I only see 3 likes right now, 22 people watching. That's not great. My favorite is Parvathy episode. Okay, we'll come to the ranking. And yes, should you watch it? Should I recommend it? I would say if you're a fan of Malayalam cinema, especially the olden days, because I say this because these stories, all of them, I think all of them are old as in of course they were written a long time back, but the way they are shot also, they are in that time period. It's not they have not modernized it at all. So I think it's a good kind of throwback, because all the legendary directors have come to direct them also. So you'll have that nostalgic feeling watching them. And I don't think I can relate that much, but because I have seen some older films, I have experienced that. That's why I'm saying, it also gave me that vibe, some of them. But yeah, there one time watch definitely. My favorite one, which is like my favorite, I'll come to. That is like I would recommend to everyone. Which I'll at the end you will find out which episode is that. Or if you, by the time we reach there, you'll know. Yeah, so if you're a fan of Malayalam cinema, you can definitely check it out. If you want to explore things, you can definitely check it out. So let's get into it, guys. Nedumudi Venu episode. Thoughts about Sherlock. I felt we'll talk about each of them. Today everything is not going my way. Intro song, yes, we'll come to that. All right, hit that like button, guys. Let's begin. So Manorathangal episode ranking. First, yeah, a few things as someone said in the chat also that the intro song sung by Akia Chitra is so perfect for the yes, it is. And even the animation, the whole animation sequence we have at the start of every episode, it's breathtaking and so well done. And I actually first thought maybe each episode is a different one, but no, it's the same. That makes sense. But very beautiful. I really love that with the song, and I actually didn't skip the intro. It actually took me almost how much? Almost 2 days. Not complete 2 days, but I had to watch it in 2 days. I think first 6 episodes I could watch on one day, and today I finished the remaining three. And evening only I finished, and got everything ready for this stream and video. So I hope I do good justice to talk about it. Song was great, but streaming on Z5, I would say Z5 is horrible at subtitles. Oh my god, ridiculous. Like, it's been 2-3 years or 4-5 years, I don't know how long. I remember using Z5 and I messaged them about the subtitles. Like, there's no option to, or maybe I am blind, I didn't find it, but there's no option to increase the size of the subtitles or do any settings about the way subtitles appear on screen. You know how on YouTube you get, even other OTT platforms you have that option, but Z5, it sucks. It like, this is a big screen at the bottom, just touching the bottom of the screen, it comes in the so small font, and that too, it doesn't come, they're not good, they're not well done. It's like just one line, and sometimes that big line is there, so it goes within 1 minute, like 1 second. I can't even read it. So many times I had to pause and read that line. And like, I actually heard, because I told my parents to watch in the Hindi dub, and the dubbing is actually really good, so that's a good thing. So if you want to watch in dub, I think it's okay, you can, because subtitles not the best. It was really a big struggle to watch it. Also, Kamal Haasan is actually the orator. He's not orator as in the start of every story. He comes and says a few lines about MT Vasudevan Nair and what was the inspiration and what was the story about. And it is interesting, him talking, because he was speaking in Malayalam in the original version, and him speaking in Malayalam, his voice is different a bit. So first I was thinking, is it his voice? But it felt like there were moments where texture of his voice, I could feel it's him only, but it sounds so different than when he speaks Tamil. So that was fascinating. So is that a thing, or I'm just thinking too much? Only 5 likes, guys. Come on. Can we get more likes there? 24 people watching. If you hit the like button, YouTube will say, oh, more people are liking this, so more people can come. I know it like, the stream happened very, like, just now I posted it, so a lot of people would not know the stream is happening. So that would really help. It was actually a project planned with Netflix, but due to creative difference, they backed it out with Z5. And Kamal was in trailer, was not his voice, but series it was his voice. Yeah, that I think in the trailers are not very well cut. The show is actually way better. And in the thing I said in the trailer, right, like something I talked about, that all of it looks, maybe they went it to all of that look and the way they've shot it, very old school, how that time period movies were shot. And I think that's true. It is a stylistic thing, not that they are not they haven't. I don't think any of the episodes I felt technically they were not that very good. They were trying to make it look old school, so I think that works in their favor. You should have learned Malayalam by now. I get Manasalayo, Argariyam, I know these kind of words, but Neru, Sherry, Nandri, yeah, some words are, but yeah, again, see my point of, I could learn, but the point is that if I learn, right, that defeats the whole purpose, that to watch Malayalam films you need to learn Malayalam. That will be the excuse, right? So I don't want that to happen. You can watch its subtitles and you'll still enjoy it. That's my pitch to the whole world. So if I actually learn the language, then it defeats the whole purpose. Manasalayo song released, yeah. I actually reacted to it solely for members on React channel. Anyways, so I have 2 questions which I'll come back. Vishnu, if you're watching the stream later, remind me. I have 2 questions to ask you, but I'll come to that later. So quickly, let's go through each and every episode by ranking. So I'll start from the bottom and we'll go to the best. From the least favorite to the most favorite, we'll go through like that. And so let's begin. And the first one is actually the first one. The first episode itself is number 9 for me, and it's called Villappana, which means sail, and it's by Aswathy V Nair, who directed the episode. Again, story by Vasudevan Nair. We had Asif Ali in the lead and Madhubala with him, and that wig looks very fake. Come on, in the picture itself, it doesn't look that good, and in motion also it didn't look that amazing. What do you guys think? Nanni is better. Okay. What time by the IO live? Akhil, I remember you there very much. It's not Nandri, it's Nanni. Okay. Really? Is that the case? But okay. But yeah, this one, there are many reasons I didn't like. First of all, this narrative, the way it was presented, right? The story of this. Okay, spoilers. Again, minor spoilers. So the story is basically this house where this woman lives. They have put a ad that they are selling furniture, and Asif Ali sees that ad and calls and reaches that place. That he just enters the house here, and then the things that happen, it actually, they want to show it as they are just bonding, but it actually felt creepy. The questions and the way they were behaving, but at the end of the day, the story, what it was trying to say at the end, it did make sense. But yeah, it did. I was like, what the hell? If I was in that situation, I would run from this house. It feels like it could go the thriller murder mystery way. Anything could happen. But they wanted to portray it as them just two strangers bonding over, but it didn't feel natural to me. Technically, yeah, it's kind of old style. Even I think one thing not all episodes, but most 5 episodes almost have the same color correction. I think they just did the same thing, so all of it looks similar. But some of them, the aspect ratio is different. For some episodes, the color grading is different, but most of them have very similar one, which I'm like, okay, but I would have liked if each story had a different tone and color to them. Hey, when I saw this series, first episode was Mohanlal's episode. I saw it on Dave and because I think they have shifted the episodes according to, I don't know why. Maybe according to how much critics I have voted for them. I don't know. But for me, this was episode 1. So that's why I'm not saying, I am showing you a picture on screen so you know which episode I'm talking about. Aswal episode is good at literature level, but the film wasn't that good compared to literature. Yeah, that's what I felt. Like I get the idea of the whole film, what they're trying to say, but it didn't translate in the visuals. Expectation on Ann, very excited. Which episode had Kamal in it? No, Kamal Haasan is like a introduction. He does an introduction to every episode. In the start of every episode, he introduces the story and then you watch the story. He's not acting in any of them. Jobin George, welcome. I hope you guys are hitting that like button. Thank you. But yeah, so they were, acting also. I felt there were a lot of uncomfortable, awkward pauses between the staring, and they were trying to build a chemistry, but that just didn't work for me. It felt like they were shooting it like a play, but yeah, it didn't work. And here, of course, the furniture that they're selling is kind of a metaphor of how nothing in life is valuable enough. Even she can be sold, and it's actually talking about loneliness of women, who cannot really share things with everyone. And and that's why when she meets a stranger who's kind of respecting and where she can share something and she's oversharing things with him, kind of an outlet for her. So I have seen like a legendary film Charulata by Satyajit Ray, and there when you watch it, right, like visually, they, without even saying dialogues, visually at so many places, so amazingly, that film deconstructs this loneliness a woman feels, so in that era he kind of pulled that off. So here I felt, yeah, the dialogues were there, but it wasn't matching with what was happening in the performances. Like it didn't come together for me. And like it ends with the domestic violence kind of a thing, but Yeah, I didn't come together for me narrative wise, but I understood what they were trying to say here. So this was the episode Villapana Sale. I don't know which number for you guys it will be, but the Asif Ali one, it was the least favorite of mine. So at number 9 for me. All right, let's move to the next one. Thank you for that likes guys. Let's move to the next one. And the next one is okay, let's not say number 4. This is number 8 for me. Least favorite. It was Kadak Kaat, which means sea breeze. It was directed by Ratish Ambat, and it starred Indrajith and Aparna Balamurali. And yeah, it okay. So the way this episode started with how Kamal Haasan introduced this episode was that how people become modern, and then they go away from conventional society and norms, and then later they only find those norms actually attractive, and they find their home in those norms, conventional norms. So I was expecting something that an ideology battle or conflict, but this was not that. This was about cheating, which I don't think has anything to do with modern. If you're a modern, that doesn't mean you can cheat. Like, cheating is wrong. If modern, convention, whatever, that doesn't matter. Cheating is not a byproduct of being a modern person in society, with modern values. That's, I think, is a thing that is some people who are very conventional think that cheating, and if you become modern, you become evil and wrong. You do wrong things, which I don't agree with. Cheating is not being modern. Cheating is wrong. It has nothing to do with being modern or conventional. So that I just didn't understand what the meaning of that was. But yeah, and it kind of shows cheating here, and which were kind of spoilers, backfires, which was quite hard hitting. Like, oh, I didn't see that coming. It's a simple narrative, very straightforward. He has a family in a town, his village, and then he's in a town working, and he has an affair with someone else, and he doesn't believe in marriage. Maybe that's the modern angle here, that he doesn't believe in the concept of marriage. It's a bondage kind of a thing. And he has a kid. Kid has, I think, he has asthma. The kid has some illness, and he has to get medicines which he forgets. There's a dog who I think can sense that he's cheating, and he starts barking at him. So that's one thing. I felt like it was around 35 minutes, 40 minutes, and I felt it was long. Like, what they were trying to show could have been a 10, 12, 15, 20 minutes also. Like, it feels bloated. There's some extra scenes. And there's one interesting thing, that when he's with his wife, when in the morning when he wakes up, he sees the girl he's cheating with, saying wake up, and he wakes up. And when he's with the girl in the morning, he sees his wife saying wake up. So that was an interesting element they tried to show. The lover, you see in the poster here, I don't know what her motivation was really, like. So I read the chat, but like, she asked him that we should get married, and he says no, and he tells his own backstory, and she says that's why you don't want to get married. And then 2 days later, she gets married to some other guy. And he reaches there at the church where they get married, and she's like, hi, and introduces the husband, the now her husband, new husband, and says he's my friend, and then they move on. Like, we never get what her motive was. I guess the moment he said no marriage, or maybe she had multiple partners, and the one who said yes to marriage, she married him. Like, I don't know what was going there. So, and at the end, it ends with that they, just like the dog, not the dog, but the dog knew, right? I kind of sense him, and when all that thing happened, she married, now he comes back again home, and the dog is like, now you're a good guy, now you're loyal like me. But we find out at the end that the wife also knew, and then she's happy that the husband has come back. So yeah, And it was again a period film, very sepia tone, which I actually didn't enjoy that much. But I couldn't understand what this story was trying to do. It was confusing, and yeah, very simplistic way it was shot. Like that, the dream thing when he wakes up, kind of a thing, was interesting. But then that, yeah, a lot of dialogues about my love, my dear, my dear. So yeah. Anyways, Kamal is the narrator, hence every episode starts with him. How was this episode with Mammootty? We'll come to that episode, guys. We'll come to each episode, don't worry. I think Kamal meant is Anjali cheating because he wanted to live a modern lifestyle and not his traditional lifestyle which he grew up. No, but that's what I'm saying. Cheating is not modern lifestyle. Okay. Can you guys hear the firecrackers? It's Ganesh Chaturthi, so I'm sorry. But yeah, modern lifestyle is not cheating. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if he thinks that means he's wrong. If Indrajith's character thinks that, he's wrong too. Actually, it was not about cheating. He enjoyed freedom and living together, but at the end, he understood the same bondage of marriage is the only thing which will always be with him. Nothing. See, the thing is, the lesson there he had to learn is cheating is wrong. Not that because he got screwed over, now he's coming back. He didn't learn a lesson. He just, that opportunity is lost now. I feel like he'll again find someone and do it. That's what I'm saying. I didn't see a learning there for him. Shilak Kitam was my favorite. Time to buy a cheat checking dog. That is funny. I guess maybe every dog is that. People who have dogs can let us know in the chat, but that will reveal that you cheated. Like, what if you cheated in exam? Will your dog know? That's the question which this story made me ask. But yeah, it was fine for me. Yeah, but the cheating thing, I didn't get it. That was really funny, Tachi. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is third last for me, and it is Abhayam Thedi Vendam, which means once again in search of refugee. It was, if you can see on screen, star Siddique, and it was, I think from the first frame itself, I was like, wait, this looks fantastic. The cinematography looks amazing, and no doubt it was by Santosh Sivan. He directed and shot the film. So that was clear. Like, throughout the film, this was, I would say, the most beautifully looking film, if I can say that. Maybe my favorite, I would say, is up than this. But yeah, it was a really beautiful looking film. Like, from the first frame itself, it stood out. Like, it stood out different. It felt I'm watching something crafted and very, each visual is thought about, kind of a thing. Yeah, it's kind of a surreal film. Because there's a lot of things. Is it really happening? Is it not happening? It's happening in his mind. There's a lot of surreal things you see around him, and he's dreaming, or he's visualizing. I don't know, like, how term it. But again, a film which was like long, almost, I think 45 minutes long, and I didn't think what they were trying to do with it. It needed that long film. Like, at a point, it, like, yeah, great visuals, but at a point, it's doing the same thing. It's very repetitive. Like, something happens, and then we have the whole montage and a song and his poetry going on, and he's visualizing a girl, and that's again happened, then again it again happened, and it again happened. Then it just keeps going and going. And this one started with about how wherever we go, we come back to nature, kind of a thing. We live a life, we run, we in a rat race, but at the end we just don't look at the nature, and then later we realize how important that was, and we missed all of it, and then we crave for it. That's how it started, with Kamal Haasan saying all that. But yeah, it turned to something else, and then it became obvious that the way things were going, I was like, okay, this is not real. All of this, not what's happening, is not real. And this one, it's like Yemen's house. They were Yemen. So I thought it's maybe Yamaraj, Yemen is coming for you. so he cannot stay here for long. And the guy who was taking the rent from him kind of, he even looked like Chitragupta, and he just showed up and every time he showed up, it was a jump scare for the character. So I kind of figured those things out. Maybe that's what they're trying to show here, that Chitragupta is, dealing with the, what do you say? Chitragupta does all the calculations, right? Like a CA. He's a CA, right? He's taking the rent and how much time he can give him on this world. But Yemen is coming and he has to leave this world, where, all his memories are there, and he'll forget. Like once he's dead, he forgets everything. Like it's a reset of whatever you believe in and whatever you thought about it, what happens after that. But irrespective, whatever you live this life, the world you can touch, you can feel, the people you lose and love, and memories, all of that will be gone. So he's holding tight to them and doesn't want to leave. But Yemen is coming, so he has to. Death is coming for him. And that was cool concept. But yeah, the idea was greater than the execution, I felt. Again, the visuals, repetition, like there needed to be something more. Maybe another character, and there's a discussion and debate, and which is kind of giving you clues of what's really happening. But just him, and then keeps getting slow motion montages of a girl going around and just following her. It just kept very rapid, and it kind of in some way it kind of looked creepy a bit. Maybe it's just the recent things which has happened, just have your mind is thinking about those things. But him running after kind of very young girl, it felt very off. I don't know, maybe it's a time we are living in. Yeah, but it definitely needed more. Again, it had that period sepia kind of tone. What is the chat saying? Double eye smart watch. Naniko, do you hate me? Like, why do you want me to go to a torture? No cheating exam can be sensed by a dog. It is proven from my life. Okay, Kuttappan, we understand. At the end, we feel like Siddique dead by boredom. Pradeep, that was savage. Shilakitam is a type of story which requires imagination. If you read the story, short story, you would understand what it meant, but this film couldn't mean. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Like it needed more. It needed that factor, right? It needed something more to just these visuals, right? It didn't have any meaning. That's the missing link there. Will there be an interview of you with director of ARM because you have met the director after the film? Let's see. Indian 2 watch along. Bet you take it. I've already seen Indian 2, so in theater I witnessed it. Maybe post release interview with team. Why do you like them? I don't think that should be the case, because I think don't like. There's a lot to talk about to them, So if it happens, it can happen. Bad movies get more views than good movies. That's true. Is My Server's what I releasing? No, it hasn't. I have to wait for OTT. Nona review other language movie. It was a fun ride. Okay, retracted. All right. So that was this film. Let's move to the next one, which is fourth from the bottom. Okay, this is not really working well. Fourth from the bottom. It was good, but not the best, I would say. And it is drum roll, the Mammootty one, which is called Kaduganawa Journey, which means the journey. No, Kaduganawa is the place, location in Sri Lanka, and the tagline was the journey note. So that was the name, and it was directed by Ranjit and stars Mammootty, which I would say he's only almost 50% in the film. Like 50% is him, 50% is the backstory with his character being a kid. So it's not totally his film. So you kind of don't get full Mammootty. And this definitely, even Kamal Haasan, when he does the introduction for this episode, he says this is very personal. This has come from his personal life, the writer's personal life, very deep connection. And it felt also personal, very, intricate details. And it felt like, how, childhood, you have a task of the childhood or something like, something that happened childhood and you want to fulfill it and you haven't done. And finally, you have reached an old age and now you think maybe now is the time I can finally do it. And that's the journey of Mammootty's character in this. And I think maybe it has happened a lot that many men of the house have in the olden days or even today leave their house and go abroad or other places to work and earn money. And because they're living there so long, maybe they have another family there. And that's what kind of maybe happens here, because when the father returns for some time, he comes with a small girl, and he says it's his neighbor's kid, and they died and he's taking care of her, but everyone in the town is talking otherwise, that it's his kid. And even the mother is very furious about that. And we see that tension between the family members, and how that small kid is dealing with this, hearing other people's perspective, seeing what the father is doing, what the mother is doing, how it's impacting his life, and how he says he's creating a relationship with this other girl who's maybe his sister or may not be sister. Which again, nothing much happened. They just met, they exchanged, and she left, and they exchanged a toy, whatever that was. Yeah, and then I think we find out by the end, when he goes on this journey, he finally is, all his life, the doubt or the truth he was looking for, if it finally gets answered by the end. And he doesn't see, and I think that's where was a shining moment to have Mammootty in the movie. There's a small look where he just looks back and kind of accepts what has happened and just smiles and moves on. And that's the end of the story. So it's kind of a poetic story, not like, this has to happen and he goes and meets and, everything is happy. And that's not that kind of a narrative here. He kind of completes the journey which he has promised in the childhood. But yeah, it's not the way we think it would. And then, it's over. So that was this film. Again, sepia tone period movie in this one also. Direct to BR's interview with Tovino. Can't wait for the smart 400 M on gold mines. 400 million gold mines. Wow. Hindi dub, right? Mammootty one was a travelogue. Actually, it could have been much shorter. Yeah, we don't. It actually didn't. It's a shorter one actually. It's, I think, the shortest among the all episodes, if I'm not wrong. Vineeth acting good. Vineeth. I don't know what that is. Like, I know it's a person. Actually, Mammootty was about to do both father and child's role, but due to he's the father. Vineeth is the father. Okay, but due to date issues, he couldn't do it. As you know, Mammootty had back to, yeah, that makes sense. But I like this better. I don't think playing both father son would have actually worked. Good that he didn't had date. Vineeth got a good opportunity. The family home or Tharwad is of the mother, so the father doesn't have much say in that house. Interesting. Very interesting. So yeah, it felt like, it's a narrative which can be explored more. The childhood portion definitely. But what we got was not that satisfying, but it was an interesting narrative, I would say. Very well made. But moving on to the next one of Papa. So it's called Sherlock episode. This was my, how would you put it? Fifth from the bottom. No. Fifth from the top, yeah. Is the fifth best film. Or number 5. Ranking number 5 for me was Sherlock. It was by Mahesh Narayanan and Fafa. So that was like, there was this one small thing which I noticed, and in the narrative in the film, I was like, man, that is Fafa. Like, that's what makes a great actor. So there's a very small scene. It's maybe if you don't pay attention, you'll miss it. It's not even necessary. It's not oh my god moment also. Nothing like that. It's a small thing where so in this story, he's gone to US to his sister, and he reaches there, and I like that how the story just starts then US and they're coming back from airport. Don't need to show airport, don't need to shoot there, it's expensive. You're just on the road coming back and just talking about did you sleep in the airport, and that's it. That's not in the plane, and it establishes what has happened. But yeah, so there's a scene where he's come to US, so he's not used to it, right? How the doors and everything is here. So there's a scene where he says, I'll just get fresh up and all of that, I'll sleep. And he closes the door, and his first instinct is to close the door and go for the, no, the latch on the top. And but there's no latch because USA doesn't have how we have latches and on doors, right? And like he just instinctively just closes and goes, and he's like, oh, it's not there, and he just moves on. And that is such a small detail, but it adds so much to the story and the narrative. I don't know if it just happened or they had written it that he has to act like this, or like someone came up with it. It was a kind of improvisation. I don't know what that was, but that small detail it goes a long way. That's why he's a great actor. But yeah, even there was a cat in the film, which is actually called Sherlock. The name of the cat is Sherlock, which is actually the name of the story. And it actually acted equally with Fahad. It was like a, co-lead. The cat was the co-lead and did actually a really, really good job. We also had Nadia Moidu, who also played the sister, and I think she was wonderful. We'll come to the chat. But one thing I really liked about this was, how, like, it is still a period film, but in the US, and they actually didn't do the tip because it's in a place where it's there's snow and all. Usually we get a very blue tint kind of look for such films wherever we see snow and all, but they actually again here used a kind of more sepia tone, which actually is different, so it kind of stood out for me. But yeah, looking, watching these actors, interacting in a location which we always see in Hollywood films and movies and shows, that was very fascinating. Them walking on the street or being in a house like that. It's like two worlds kind of colliding. But the story also is like that. I think Kamal has introduced that, how so many people go out to work and they miss their culture, their world. It's totally different. They feel alienated, lonely, and that's the whole point of this narrative. The loneliness and alienation, and and I think to really also you get lonely because you're not actually interacting with people, and the culture, like there's a line in the story itself that there's no one outside, there's just cars, you don't see people. And that's totally drastic to how you live in Kerala. You see people all around you, talk to them, so that's a big cultural kind of shock. And I think to really fit, you have to adapt, you have to talk to people, you have to adapt that lifestyle in the world. And I think the sister did that successfully, but even still she feels lonely. The husband is away and all of that, so you see all of and you see very organically all of that unfolds organically. Drinking connection old. Oh yeah, okay, I'm reading my notes and I'm like, wait, what does that mean? I'm very bad at making, so I just make notes, I just write a word or two to emphasize like the whole, then I have to, from those two words I have to like come up with the whole statement and line and para to explain what that means. So yeah, drinking, like so he's actually a person who is into drinking a lot, and now he's trying to be away from it. So now he's struggling here, he's not able to find job, he's lonely and all of that. So the only connection of home is him if he drinks again, and that's what he does at the end. And it's kind of how he's feeling, he's being a failure and drinking back to coming to drinking again, even that's that. But one thing I really enjoyed in this film was this is like a masterclass in how to write exposition. As I said, the first scene that they're coming from airport, you don't need to show airport, you don't need to show plane, nothing. There's coming, and just the interaction between them just establishes they're coming from there. So it's very smart writing. It's the way to minimize your budget, because you are thinking of ways to how not to expend money on shooting at a location like that and still convey the same thing. There, most of the film is around the house, in the house. There's one shot of him going to a supermarket, or walking, or in a restaurant. So how to give you exposition about their backstory, both of their backstory, the sister and him, what they have gone through and all of that. So that was really good. And the whole interaction with the cat and what's all happening, it's very well done. This is the one where what Kamal Haasan said in the beginning, it's actually delivered in this one. Or what are people saying? I didn't like the story of Siddique of the series. Yeah, me too. Joined a life after a long time. Hey, good soul, how are you? That lock part was in the story. Oh, okay. In my ranking, the film will be third. Got it. For me, it was the third film which played also. So, but for me, it's fifth. Fafa and Cat is little different from other films. Yeah. That also stands out, right? Like it's unique. It's different that you see something like this. Manorathangal didn't have much hype around its release, maybe because it was released on Z5. Yeah, that's true. Not the best platform, but again, if they didn't have any other option, so what can really happen there? But I think Z5, if what Kalki did, right? Like try to get for Amazon and Netflix. They'll market the film if the film does really well. So they are like the, not that they have the highest numbers also, but that's the best thing. But then again, it becomes a monopoly, right? They have more power now. They'll say yes or no. They want your movie or not. How much money they will give you. It all is. Before it was that they'll just give you any money to get your film, but now it is not the same anymore. But now let's move to number 4 for me. The story which is number 4 for me, and that is with this one, which is Shilalikitham, which means stone inscription. It's directed by Priyadarshan, and it stars Biju Menon, and I really liked it. It was a second film for me, and it started with that with Kamal Haasan saying about mask, how people wear mask. They think they are not wearing one, but actually in truth they are, and that's what the story beautifully explains how that works. So they kind of turn it into a father versus daughter thing by the end, where the the father thinks he's the good person, and he's kind of a right person, but the daughter kind of exposes his lie and the mask he's actually wearing. uh, then we'll give it to Geo so that Geo could have the monopoly on OTT. Geo will give it for you to free, so that's also one thing. Shilalikitam is first in your ranking. Okay, this was actually for the longest time until later episodes. For the longest time it was like, okay, this one I really enjoyed, but then yeah, the other was, I found them better. But yeah, it's like I like the ensemble. Again, that was, I think, the Priyadarshan trademark. There's a ensemble scene where we have multiple characters, and all of them have a dialogue. And actually, this was a nightmare for me because the subtitles was a nightmare. I've talked about before. But yeah, that I really enjoyed because so well done, so well shot. All the dialogues coming in, the thing they're talking about, it is inhumane in a sense, but you understand their perspective, and it's such a well done sequence. And it's like, also when you're telling a short story, right? Whatever we got, whatever this film or this story we see in this episode, that is actually enough to give you all the aspects of this narrative. It's not like, oh, it's something is missing or it's left off for you to think, or like there is for you to think and imagine, but all the clues and everything is there. It's not open ended, and just a portion. We just get a portion of their lives, a moment in their lives, but there's enough for you to connect all the dots and the backstory and all of that. So that I really enjoyed, like without even introducing some other characters, just with their name, and so that I really enjoyed. Like you can make your own theory, like, is the girl which was in question, who passes away by the end, spoilers, is that his daughter or not his daughter? Like, it's, I think, very obvious it's his daughter, but again, you cannot really prove it. Like, it's from his behavior and all that you think it's his daughter. And I think the whole point was about how the village is changing, right? Like in the village, people think they are all connected, they help each other. But now the village is changing, where no one is even going and helping her out. Like whoever's daughter it is, like who cares? Like save that person, Oh, police will come for me, this and that. I'll be stuck in this all of that mess, but you're just losing your humanity. So it shows you that which is opposite. In cities, people think like that. But now the story is that even villages are turning like that. People are getting away. But and the thing is that he thinks that he is above his, all the villagers, that he is different than them. He is, better than them. But the truth is that's a mask. He is also the villager because he's also not doing anything. Actually the daughter does, Uh, this is interesting, and that there's a line there where they pray to the goddess, but they are not actually saving a woman there. They're just having really bad remarks for her, and saying all those things, but again then praying to goddess, whatever name they took. So that was very interesting. Biju Menon, definitely the heavyweight. He carried the story for me. The location where they shot this was really amazing. Really like that. Again, sepia tone. I think the expectation was a bit different. But there was this one scene which I absolutely loved, where the confrontation between the father and the daughter happens, and the daughter questions him, and then we see them walking, and then we cut to they are on a bridge, and he's standing at the one side of the bridge, and she's standing on the other side of the bridge. What a beautiful visual depiction of what's going on between them. So that was lovely. But yeah, I really like this one. So what do you guys think? Your favorite? Okay, Kuttappan's favorite was this. Was the dead girl Biju Menon's character Gopa's daughter as well? Yeah, no, it that's why he was behaving like that. We see in the backstory that they were together, and then the mother didn't agree, and even she comes to him to talk to him. Maybe she want to say that it is your daughter, but yeah, again it's like kind of open-ended, the way you can think the way you want. And again guys, if you're enjoying, do hit that like button, so more people can join us, and leave your thoughts in the comments if you're watching the replay. It exposes the society as it's true. Yeah. Are you going to watch ARM on the release date? Yes, tomorrow, first day, first show, which is 6:30 p.m. in the evening. But yeah. Okay, now I want to actually, before moving ahead, I have two questions which I noticed, and I want answers from you guys. One question is that sepia tone, which did you liked it? Like everyone had the same, or you wanted something different? Maybe just to make all the story look older, feel older, they added the same for most films, but some had different, which I actually liked. But the one question I had, through every film, every short story, I don't know if I've noticed this in movies I have seen, but every story I noticed is that even this story, right, when he goes to meet his mother and the house, and even the kid goes there, like there's no greeting, like no touching the feet. Okay, that's not the culture. Shaking hands, hugging, nothing. Every story I saw, when people are meeting after a long time, even Parvathy's movie, like she meets someone and mother, and like there's no hugging, there's no meeting. Like is that a thing that doesn't happen, or is just like a exceptional thing I noticed, like a kind of thing? Like every story had that, no physical greeting, like hugging or meeting people. Like every story I noticed this. I don't know why. Maybe I do that in my life. That's a big like physical greeting, handshake or hugging or kind of a thing is a thing. And I kind of noticed, like you're meeting your mother, you're meeting your grandkid, and it feels like yeah, they just showed up like as neighbors or something. Like of course neighbors shows up, you don't hug then, but even handshake there also happens if you're meeting after a long time. But that was very weird for me. That yeah, but I would like to know what you guys think about it. Am I on to something, or is just a it's just a exceptional thing? Is myself as Vada release near you? No, it hasn't. It was a way of thinking. It's his way of thinking. I got exhausted with anthologies after lockdown. Yeah, even even I was not a big fan of anthologies, because lockdown many came, and it was a. But yeah, this one feels different because it's like they kind of made it big. They are big actors from the industry. All of them have come together, big directors. And it's the older story. So I would say you can actually watch one every day with your family, friends, like that thing, if you haven't. Why fake it? No, I get the faking part. No, but my question is not that. My question is it a thing in the Malayalam, the Kerala culture, that you don't actually greet like that? Or is it just something I noticed out of blue? Or Yeah, now that I think about it, it's quite usual. My father uncle meet after 10 years and they will still talk about politics if they met yesterday. No. My point is not what they talk about. Like, okay, uh, you met your cousin or any family member, relative, after a month or years, and they show up in front of you. So, would you just say, hi, how are you after a long time? What's happening, and they just talk, or you'll just actually go shake hand or, hug them and, they not hug them long hug, but hug them, how are you, and all, like, what will it happen? Is it not a thing of this greeting is not a thing, or it's a thing actually, but just is in this series I noticed it. Raj Shetty said in recent Kondar interview regarding this, which you asked now. Oh, okay. But yeah, this is some. I don't think I've noticed this in movies. Maybe now I will. Maybe I didn't think about it like that, but now I will. But this is something that really stood out to me. I really didn't notice that, but actually greetings happen after meeting long time. Kerala. Actually, I'm thinking about it now. I didn't know about older days. Maybe that can be a case. He said in a short shoot set, someone asked why people in TN cry so louder, whereas in Kannada they don't shout and cry. Similarly, every geographical location, people have a different way of greeting. Yeah. No, it's not in Kerala culture. Actually, the writer is always harsh about pointing society problems, and he considers these greetings generally as fake. Okay. People meet at union after decades and behave as if they hung out yesterday as well. No, that is okay. Like, even after many years you're meeting, but your, repo and your behavior with each other is as if you just had met yesterday. But I'm saying when you meet after a long time, or forget long time, even if tomorrow morning when my father's sleeping, when I meet him, I'll give him a hug. So that's kind of my upbringing or my life's kind of thing. Not that every Punjabi house or Sikh house that's happened. That's not the thing. But like in my family, if we meet an elder person, we go for the, foot. Not like totally foot, but yeah, we just, do this gesture where they give you Ashirwad kind of a thing. Not on your head, but just on your back or something like that. Depends on the person, but hug is not common, I think. Okay. Do you see Black Mirror inspiration in every anthology that's made today? I've not actually seen Black Mirror. I've just seen first episode of first season, which was really like dark, and it was during pandemic, and I was like, okay, the world is too dark right now. I don't want to watch more darker things. Bro, in short, Keralites doesn't need to know each other for long, and they might not even greet each other, but they make sure the other guy is comfortable. So in Kerala, as you said, it's so subtle. In Tamil Nadu, they are emotional and subtle. So that's why India is a diverse country, okay? Hug is not common, but there is a show of affection in Kerala culture, just like every other culture. I'm guessing, like as people go to school, colleges, when you meet a friend, you just do this. Like, I just felt this kind of meme right now, but do this or just not handshake, or maybe I am just too physically. Like when I went to I think Thiruvananthapuram, I did shake. I actually may have hugged people who I actually met first time, but I knew them online, like from Discord, or like maybe they felt weird. But that's maybe my thing. Like, yeah, I meet, oh hey, kind of a hug, kind of thing. Maybe that's me. I'm finding it about myself. The cadaver like that, let's just put it that way. Okay, I also go for foot, but my stomach is you can do sideways, you don't need to go like, but anyways, if you see in Kerala and TN, we do hug and greet each other, but people will tease you stating you are doing so much, and I feel it's because it's so subtle, especially among relatives, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, so it's just something I just noticed out of blue, and I noticed in each one. So I'm like, okay, I'll ask everyone. Hugging is not popular down here. Got it. I'll remember that when I come down. All right, let's move on now. And the next one is, okay, we'll find out with the image. And the number 3. Okay, now we are in the top 3, guys. Time for top 3. And number 3 is the Mohanlal one, which is not this. Yeah, which is Olavam Thiravam. Olavam Thiravam. Ripples and the River Bank. Again by Priyadarshan, 2 films. I actually liked both of them. And this one is like classic old Mohanlal. I think most fans are missing. So I think if you're a Mohanlal fan from the olden days, definitely watch this. A classic love tragedy kind of film. And kind of, give me vibes of the older films I've seen of his. Thumvimbakal. Okay, I'm butchering the name. Thumvikubakal. I think you got what I'm trying to say. And Chitra, not Chitra is comedy, but like those kind of days, what he used to do. This is basically that film. And I think this is the most epic also in that sense, because it's an epic scale love story, and there's some big visuals of kind of not flood but rain, and in the sea, in the river he's going, like some big scenes are there. So they spend money on this one. And also this is it's like a long 50 minutes long, but it's kind of a full narrative, from the start to end, kind of. But watching this, I kind of thought, like, why do we have 3-hour long films? Like, they did this in 15 minutes and it works, like a tragic love story. Definitely Mohanlal, totally old style. Even the way it was shot was reminiscent of olden days. Even the action scene, even the way it's interactions and all, like everything felt like watching an older film. And they actually also made it black and white, which I'll come to. But yeah, it's about a tragic love story, and what all happens in society, and at the end women suffer in a ego battle of 2 men. So that's kind of the narrative here. They actually, in one scene on the radio, they were playing the song Avara from the movie Avara. Avara hu teneni avara. So that song they played, I guessing Priyadarshan likes that song, or it just to show that the time period the film is in. And I like that it was black and white, but it was not this knowing I've done it myself in my Brahmayugam video, where there's one way to actually on your footage put a black and white filter, and there's one way to on your footage make the saturation 0, so the colors in your video make it 0. And it should like logically, if you think you are removing the color, so it should be same, right? No, in black and white, everything which is darker becomes more towards black, and everything which is lighter goes more towards white. But when you remove the saturation, when you remove the color, you're just removing the color. Everything turns into a shade of white or shade of black. So in this film, they've actually removed the saturation, because if you see a lot of scenes, they are very bright. But if they had done black and white filter, everything would have looked more darker. If you notice, like if you can tell the difference, you'll be able to show that. And as you see in the poster, the bangles are red color, and you actually see them as red. And in the movie also, it kind of, I was like, whoa, they're doing this. When he's making her wear the bangles, it's actually, you see the color there. That's why I'm saying they haven't done the black and white filter. It's the saturation one, and then they put a filter of just the red in the scene pops up and nothing else. So that's how they shot it. But yeah. That's basically, it's very classic kind of story, and I, as an overall thing, I actually kind of liked it. It was I did sleep in the middle because I was very sleepy. Like, I think in the middle I just paused and I just dozed off, and then I like, no, I have to watch it. Not that this film made me bored me to sleep. No, not at all. It's just I didn't sleep well last night, and it was after lunch, and I had rice and fish, and I just kind of slept in the middle. But yeah, like the film, acting good, everything good. It's a old school, like love letter to old kind of films, and if you're a fan, definitely check it out. Okay, where are we? I also, maybe director brilliance reminding modern Corona days. about the hugging. There's also one thing that we Keralites use when someone meet a guy after a long time. We just casually, "How are you?" with a handshake. Handshake is fine. Handshake is okay, but I didn't even see handshake. That's why I'm asking you a question. Raju Shetty said his answer because he was asked how is Karnataka you play different character, different geography. That's when he said this. Your question reminded me. Okay, what's the reason that many Malayalam people know Tamil? I don't know. Mohanlal is one. Mohanlal one is an old film starring Madhu. It's actually a short story which was made a 3-hour film in Malayalam, and now that short story is made in series. Yeah, in the beginning, Kamal Haasan said it was already made into a movie. What was his name? B from B, right? Baby Cut, something like that. Thuvanu Tumbikali, yes, that's the movie. Because we see more Tamil films, maybe because neighboring states. I am Telugu, but I don't Tamil or Kannada. Okay, the last action scene was choreographed by Mohanlal. It kind of looked like it felt very. It kind of reminded me of Kiridam. There's a scene where like the crowd has kind of not crowd, but they kind of they're trapped within them, and it's kind of reminding me of that movie. Mohanlal looked so beautiful in black and white. The villain was kind of a scary yet menacing. Even Lalitan fans thought this film would attract trolls memes before its release, but it turned out to be good. Yep. Noticed you have had that mic for a while. TRB just got the same one recently and sounds great. Oh, really? I think he was using a different mic. The white one. Malayalis know Tamil as it is considered the mother language of Malayalam. Okay. No, it's Ullavam Theravam itself, which starred Madhu. It was 1960s. Okay. What was the name of Mohanlal's character? Baby Kutti, something like that. Interesting name, which became very popular, I heard. The character became very popular. But that was this film, guys. Number 3 for me. And now it's time for number 2. And the thing is, like, the moment I remove, like, show you number 2, you know what is number 1. Unless you had not kept a track of which films I've talked about and which I have not. So that's something, So drum rolls, get ready. Hit that like button and let's continue. Last 2 episodes to talk about. And my number 2 is Parvathy's movie called Karcha or Kascha. Karcha. Which, let me know, it means vision. And it was directed by Shyam Prasad, starring Parvathy. So I think Kamal Haasan said in the intro for this one that in 1992 the story was written and it actually created a lot of buzz. A lot of people talked about this story because how different it was and unique for that time. And yes, it is very progressive because it talks about getting a divorce, and the reasons are not very simple. It's complicated. Bhupati. Yes, for me too, Parvathy, Nedumudi was top 2, okay. I saw reviews like Ulak 2 for this one, but I loved it overall. Grandma character was interesting. Yeah, she was, man. You don't actually get such characters. But yeah, the film, shows how marriage is kind of, something that the woman has to take care of. And once you are married, if the marriage doesn't work, the shame will come on you. It's always like the woman has to save the relationship. Whatever happens, just take it all in, but save the marriage. And the society it, or otherwise they'll blame always the women. If the marriage doesn't work, whatever men did, okay, but it's a woman who couldn't handle it. Like whatever the man does doesn't matter, but it was a job of the woman to take care and keep the marriage still going. And I think that's something. And what happens is that there's a time, like even if he hits you, it's okay, you're his wife, just take all of it, but still marriage has to continue. That's the thinking and mentality that is created. And nowadays you would say, okay, if there's domestic violence there, then you would say, okay, you can get a divorce. But if he's not hitting you, if he's not doing anything wrong, then why you are taking divorce? Even that's a situation, like a conservative thinking. And I think the reason today the divorce rates have increased. Like, like if you compare even statistic wise, today we are having more divorce in a society or country than very long back. So I think that's the product of that. More people today have women are independent, they understand their rights, they're not ready to withstand anything, they have self-respect, they're independent, so they don't really need a marriage to sustain their life. And they can do their job and they can earn money also. So I think all those things have, I think, led to all this. And I don't think, some people say, oh, because Western culture and all of that, that's why divorces are increasing. It's just the women have rights, that's what has happened. And more exposure of that, and more people are getting their eyes open, more women are getting open to that. You don't have to suffer, you can actually opt out of it and it's not your mistake. And I think even if all of this exposure existed before, we would have divorces then also. The only reason is a mindset is created that it's a job of the woman to keep the marriage in check, and it should not be broken. It will be her, blame will go on her if it breaks or something happens. So I think because that's changing, more people getting enlightened. So that's what's happening. That's my take. But and here also, what I like that it's not the way they show it, that the difference, what's the difference between the couple. It's clearly that the man is not earning, he's drinking, he's gambling, he's not participating in this marriage, where she's only taking care of things and the rent and and what she wants, he doesn't even care, he doesn't respect her for that. And so you see these things which are very complicated things. As at individual level, you will say that's these are many reasons which had just led her to decide to get separated. But at the time of this story, like, no one will understand those situations. Maybe today someone will. Even today there'll be people like, he doesn't hate you now, it's okay. That's the mentality a lot of people had. Like, I think when the film Thappad came out, if you have seen the Hindi one with Taapsee Pannu, like, there was big actors, directors in interviews, they're like, I don't understand the movie. He slapped and said, sorry, what's wrong in that, why are you getting divorced? Like, they don't understand. Even after the film came out, I don't know if they've watched it or even not, but they are not understanding the point. And I think those films beautifully depict that. And even this film, at least, it's like so progressive for the time it was written, and even the way it's depicted, of course, is very well done. It just shows you, like, it has to be okay, he hits you, or then only it's okay to get divorced. Other than that, it's fine. People don't understand the reasons behind it. And it's interesting to confront the society, and how at every space, not just men, I don't think any men in the film told her what to do and don't get divorced. It's all the women, her mother, her neighbors there, her friend, coming to her and saying, you should not do it, you should not do it. So it's I think brilliantly shows the state of society. Even women are kind of blindsided. And again, it's a period film, and but this one didn't have the CPI tone, it had more kind of a different so I like that, it stood out. But what do you guys think? I talked a lot there. It was second in my ranking just because it is not unique now, but considering when it was written, hats off. Many people say that Malayalam is not the most tough among all to learn. Nona ranked Asif Ali 1 as last and Ramesh Narayanan 1 as the best. I don't get it. Does that mean something? Is it true Malayalam is the second hardest? I don't know. Nona, have you listened to Manasalayo song? Reaction available for members on React channel. Manasalayo was fire. Watch Thavalam. The Grandma in Parvathy movie sound like a modern woman. No, I would not say modern. I would say a woman who has her desires and she's open about it, talking openly about it. I don't think that has anything to do with modern. See, I think that's the concept, right? Like, you think it's a modern girl, who could have affairs, or who could like other, being married, who could have crushes. That's not modern. That's human. That happens to everyone. It's just that it's not talked about. It's like it's fed in your mind to look down upon these things. that if you're married, that's it, you cannot even look anywhere. And that's true, you should not look anywhere, but you can still, find someone attractive if you're married. That, but you should not like commit to it. Like, that's human nature, it's your biological thing. You just see someone attractive, you can, kind of have something, but don't follow that. I think there was some interview I was seeing, some actors said it, that I found someone attractive and like I said, you're beautiful, but my wife is waiting. So that is a human thing, you cannot really do anything about that. But that has nothing to do with modern. And I think the way the cat was shown, right, like that just shows you someone that who doesn't really care about these norms, and she's just telling this girl that I have lived my life, I've seen all these things, just don't give a damn about all those people, focus and live your own life. The grandma, why do divorce cost so much? Because they are worth it. I didn't get that. Power of women in a matriarchal system or times. Okay. Marumakatam, bad joke. That was an issue between Asif Ali and Ramesh Nair, and Ramesh Nair's music director of Nedumudi Venu episode. Okay. Asif Ali handled the issue in a very good manner. That's why he was saying about. Okay. I like the one really much, but I think she's getting typecasted to these roles, like good, bold, feminist kind of roles, which is okay, but nothing versatile like negative roles are different. She should be off. Like, that's why Uludukka I actually really liked, because she's playing very different character than her personality, which it has become stereotype, as you say. That's why kind of it stood out to me. And even this film, right, she's not actually being like, preachy about it, telling everyone what to do. She's actually just, everyone's telling her what to do, and she's like, maybe I have decided what I want to do, and I'll not listen to all of these things. We see a process of, people keep constantly attacking her, and she has to have just courage and just face it and move on in life. So I think it stood out. Even this didn't feel stereotypical, or just same thing of preaching that women are strong, we should not listen to all those things. So I think that's how you differentiate it. Rudku was complex. Thangalam was a very different role. In Thangalam, Parvathy had a very different role. Yeah, looking forward to that film. But now, guys, it's time for number one. My favorite. I made my parents watch it just now. My grandparents watched it in Hindi, and let's talk about it. I liked it so much. I just want to talk about that movie so much more. But let's move to number one. Manorathangal. Oh no, sorry. Swargam Thurakuna Samayam, which means when doors of heaven open. That by Jayaraj, starring the late Nedumudi Venu. We have Indrans, and my father actually loved Indran because of Home movie, and I told him I have something special for you to watch, and I like opened it and like, hey Indrans, I'm like, yes, enjoy. So I absolutely loved it. Like, best for me, I loved everything, every part, every scene of this, every shot of this story. Like, my favorite throughout. It's definitely, if you know me, the themes this story is dealing with is, of course, I really enjoy. It's kind of exploring concept of death and talking about death and all. But before talking about the way it's shot, I love when we are in the house. There's so much shadow. We are just getting one light source, which is just highlighting the character from one side. Like, if I just turn off these lights, right, this will be the only thing that will just give me should I do it? I hope it doesn't mess up with my camera. Just imagine behind nothing is on, just one light source and all the shadow taking over. Okay, I'll just change the screen also for you guys. Just one light source coming and just action happening, and they're talking, doing whatever, you just see a kind of highlight to them. So that's, I kind of loved in it. And every frame, like the shadow was filled in frames and kind of giving you a theme of how it's creeping in, how dark we have become, and not thinking about the man dying, but all the other things. But coming to the story, it's kind of the Imayu thing, but it's just that Imayu is about post the death, right? That's where the narrative begins, kind of, and that's what we're exploring. But this is pre-death, what happens, what things go on. And because of pre-death, it becomes kind of a waiting game, because you're waiting for the death to happen. So you have to make plans around it. You have to think about, okay, when he'll die, we'll do this, we have to do this. And so that thing is so weird that you're thinking about it. What if he doesn't die? You're not praying for that doesn't happen, but maybe they are, and it kind of shows you the true intentions of some people, if they are fake or not. And it's not just that they are fake. Maybe they are actually showing the true colors. They are like that. Maybe I appreciate that than being fake and acting as if you care. So they actually have their own lives to live, right? They have a life which is going on. The parents grew, like they grew and made them, like what's the word? They parented them, and to reach the place they are in, and they have their own life to take care of. So that's like, there's nothing wrong in that, but like there's no care for the person dying. That's the thing. And it shows they're thinking how death will happen, how they can use that death in their own favor, selling the property, getting the property, using it in their office, to get some sympathies and all of that. So, but I like that it's not shown as evil. Oh, how evil they are. It's like them being pragmatic, them being realistic about what's happening right now. It's not that they want him die and they're poisoning him, kind of a thing. So I liked how it all portrayed, very grounded, typical Malayalam cinema level. And the character I absolutely loved was Indran's character. Like, I want a whole narrative about that, because it's so fascinating. A character who's like an expert of death, not in the sense, it's not like a Yamraj kind of a thing, but like he's a person, when someone is going to die, he's called upon because he knows the rituals, what to do, how things should happen. And he looks at his point of view of death is so different. It's not like, oh my God, he's going to lose his life, you're going to miss him, all of that. Like, no, it's part of life, because you take place, what's happening to my vocabulary? Like you're born, and you have to die. It's a cycle, and everything has to happen. How that's his perspective. And it's not like he's doing it for money. Oh, one more person is gonna die, I get more money. Maybe it's about money also at the later stage, but it's also about his duty, that he will be of some use here. That he's now, because we hear a dialogue, right? He's always present there when he's not needed, but when he's needed, he's also present. So like someone, like he's getting attention, he's needed, his skills will come in handy, he's important right now. So like that's such a fascinating character. I absolutely love it. Like him just thinking about, oh, so he's gonna die, I have to do this, this is very hard to clean the body, and it's just so practical things he's thinking. It's not evil, it's not, it is dark, but it's not negative. It's all the thing that will happen, and it's a process, and someone has to do it. And it's just him, making the list of what all we'll need. Oh, it's a big person, so we need more of these. And it's so good. It's a lovely writing. I just love it. And actually, in the middle, I actually switched to Hindi just to see how the Hindi dub is. It was actually good. Maybe when my parents were watching, there was one line where Indran's character show up, and he says, we have to clear his throat so that he can, say his final words. Which in Hindi they said we have to clear the throat so he can talk, which doesn't make the same impact, right? He's trying to say that we need to clear his throat so that it's easy for him to, say his final words, and he can, finish the cycle of how the death will happen. So, yeah. But I love the ending. I was expecting maybe he'll die, but they actually, okay, spoilers, he doesn't die. And that was the best ending, that, to show that, oh, all of them, okay, now you can leave. And then he says, next time, maybe if everything is, then the show is over, when I'm done, then only call them, not before. So that was, brilliant. But like everything, like technically the way it's shot, the performances, knowing Nedumudi Venu, maybe the last performance, I'm guessing, him there, Indrans there, like, all the performance is so, the way it's shot, the music, the length of it, like everything, like, and it makes sense why this was the last one, for me at least. I don't know which order for you it was. For me, it was the last one, and it was the best one. And I was thinking, Fahad is third and Mammootty is then Mohanlal, and why would you keep last one without any big actor? But it made sense. It's the best story and best for me. Like one of the best for the year. One of my best ones. You can call it a short film, 50 plus minutes, so not a short film. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. So, what are your thoughts on this? In Tangalam Power, okay. Do a live stream in recent channel so that I get a membership from Shelly. Got it. Nice connecting masterclass in lighting. I hope I able to convey the point I was trying to make. Indrans at the end, his body language as if the daughters were leaving expecting some money was just brilliant. Yeah. That was so good. Like he was. That was amazing. Parents raised them. Yes. Thank you, Vishnu. Thank you. Yeah. Parents raise you right to live your own life. So they are actually not doing that. So the parent-child relationship, all of that, I find it fascinating to talk about because it is kind of complex. But yeah, dude, if your dad is dying, take care. Nothing should matter in that point. But yeah, that was all the episodes ranking. Again, we'll just go through it. So number 1 is this one. Number 2, Parvathy 1. Number 3, Mohanlal 1. Number 4, this one with Biju Menon. Number 5, Fahad 1. Number 6, Mammootty 1. Number 7, Siddique 1. Number 8, Indrajith 1. Number 9, Asif Ali 1. So that was my ranking, guys. I hope you had fun in this session, and this is on the live streams. Like it took me 2-3, like it took a lot of time to do this, but we finally did it. I think last time you guys asked we should do a live, and we are now doing it. So hopefully we can do more. And it's been, my throat is hurting right now. I'm also actually kind of like, I didn't plan it, but I'm actually watching back-to-back Tom Cruise films. I'm sharing it on social media. You can check it out. Yesterday I watched Minority Report, and today also I'll check something out after this. My throat hurts right now, so I hope I did a good job and you enjoyed it. If you're watching the replay, let me know your thoughts about all the episodes, your ranking in the comments below. If you haven't seen, I don't know why you're still watching, spoilers. But I would like to say one-time watch, definitely a one-time watch. Not every one you may revisit, but some of them, as I said, the last one for me, I'll definitely revisit, or I'll recommend it to other people. But thank you again for joining the chat. Thank you for being there. Thank you for hitting that like button, and a lot of people joined us. Thank you, Vishnu, Pradeep, Kuttapan, Hitachi, Nani Code 4, Abid, Ayyar Ishwar, Gopal Krishnan. I hope I'm not missing any word. Good Soul, and everyone who joined. Thank you for being here. And yes, Thalavan live watch along on the React channel, so you can check it out there. And if their membership is also on, you can find out some song reactions uploaded for members. And tomorrow ARM I'm watching first show, which is 6:30 p.m. surprisingly, 3D Malayalam with subtitles. The Hindi show is also there, which is 10 o'clock, so I don't want to wait that long, and there's subtitles, so I think it should be fine. But looking forward to that. That review will be out. Thalavan, whenever I see review, will be out. And yeah, one more video I'm waiting for the members on this channel will get early about theaters, which is in editing phase, some final things to be done, and it will be available. And yeah, that's it. That's the live stream. I hope you enjoyed, and if you enjoyed this, do like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.